Hello and welcome. It is Jean with Captain Stitches, and it's Sunday, so it is time for the week in review of my stitching cottage. So come on into my stitching cottage and let's see what I was able to accomplish this week. First of all, I want to say that I'm happy to be back in the stitching cottage creating again. So first of all, I did get another layered heart done in my layered hearts applique quilt that I'm making. Need a total of 25 blocks. I believe I have 7 left to do. I thought I only had 2 left to do, and then I found that I had 5 more blocks underneath some that I wasn't aware was there. So I have a few more to do than what I thought, but I'm still getting closer to completing that quilt top at least. So then also we do have our embroidery stitch of the week, and the stitch this week that I chose is the fly stitch, and that is done right here in this section on mine. I did it the 2 different ways, and I would suggest using the disappearing ink pen and drawing a straight line to follow when you're doing it vertically this way, because as you can see, I did get a little off on that. So when I do the rest of it, I will be drawing a line to follow, so I stay a little straighter. And I also, which before I forget, one of the main things that I was doing this week was I was cleaning and reorganizing the stitching cottage from the mess. It's unbelievable how quickly, when you aren't working the way that you are normally working in your sewing area, how quickly you can create a mess. Because I wasn't in my right state of mind for the past couple weeks. When I would come in here, things would get just placed down in an area instead of being put back where they belong. And very quickly, things became a little unruly in here. So I did start cleaning and reorganizing in here again. And as many of you know, once you do that, initially you create a bigger mess. So I'm still working on that, and I will be happy when things are back where they belong and everything is organized again, and I don't have to deal with the clutter that is going on in here right now. Other than that, I also worked on Over the River and Through the Woods. And you can see it's getting a little closer to completion of this first panel. But in working on this first panel and having another project in mind, I got to thinking about it. And there's really a technique that I want to use on those panels, and have decided that I will be redoing that first panel, because when I show you this next project that I work on, I will explain that a little bit more in detail. And the next project that I did work on, and I have the top part now completed, is this 3 stacked pumpkins. Now, this was not supposed to be colored in like this, but I decided on this that I wanted to use the watercolor pencil coloring in technique so that it added a little bit more depth and a little bit more going on to what would otherwise be a pretty plain panel of just those pumpkins and the embroidery stitches. So I used watercolor pencils. I happen to have the Derwent Intense ones, and that is what I chose to use. I do have some of the Prisma Premier color ones on order because I think those are a little bit more well suited for that technique. But you can use whatever watercolor pencils that you have on hand. So I colored in the sections, the colors that went with what the embroidery stitches and everything were going to be. Kind of went on the suggested colors of the embroidery stitches to come up with what I was going to do in the coloring and on those. So I did that, and then after that is done, you go over that and you are careful to stay within the lines and work on your shading. And I may do a little tutorial that shows a little bit more information on that when I am doing my other panels. But you have to go over it with this textile medium that is a colorless extender. And you want to make sure that when you are doing that, that you start with your lightest color and work out to your darker colors, and that you stay away from the edges and everything while you are doing that, because the extender will make that go into other areas if you are not careful in doing that. But anyway, I used the color and the extender on all that, and then I did my embroidery stitches. After it dried, of course. I did leave it dry overnight so that it was sure that it was nice and dry. And one of the other things that, if I put that a little closer, I don't know if you can see, I don't think it's going to show up, no. But one of the other suggestions on this is, if you are like me, on your embroidery, we use a stabilizer on the back to stabilize the fabric. And it is a fusible stabilizer. I use SF101, which is soft flex stabilizer, and it does have the bumpy side because of the glue, and that side will be up on your fabric. So you want to make sure that after you have traced your design using your light box, that you do your color pencil also drawing on that. Put your extender on and let it dry before you put your stabilizer on the back. Otherwise, in your drawing, you are going to get some of those bumps that appear on your fabric. So it's not a big deal, but it's just a little bit noticeable to the naked eye that knows that it was there. Somebody that's not looking for it may not notice that, but I did notice it, and especially while I was drawing with the color pencils. So make sure that you use your watercolor pencils and color everything in before you add your stabilizer to the back. And this is now completed with all the embroidery. I have it layered. I'm going to hand quilt it. So hopefully we'll get that finished this week, and it will be ready to display for the Halloween coming up very close. So one other thing that I did start also this week is an Afghan for, could show the front side of that, not that it makes much difference, and because the yarn is on that way. I did start a Afghan for charity. This is actually yellow, not beige. It's not going to show up there, but it is a yellow color, a very soft, beautiful yarn, and it will be a charity Afghan for an infant. So started working on that also this week. And I believe that is everything that I was able to accomplish this week. I did get a few things in the mail, of course, and this is going to look like a lot, but remember, it has been 2 weeks since I did a week in review. So this was not all received in 1 week, just so you know. But because I am going to be doing more of the watercolor technique in the future, I did order another larger container of the textile colorless extender. And I do want you to know that don't be concerned about getting a large one like this, because it does go a long way. So don't worry about that. And I did get some more brushes to use with that also, which that was one of the other things I wanted to mention when doing that technique. Make sure that you use a different brush for your different colors, or it will bleed into the other areas. Then I also ordered some of the, what are they called? The Comfort Grip Magic pins. I got the extra fine ones that are for patchwork quilting, because I like a small fine pin for when I am doing things like hand embroidery, applique, that type of thing. So I am going to try some of these. I haven't tried them before, and I got those. I'll leave that one for that. And for the, sorry that I keep walking out of the camera view there. Don't mean to do that. But for the Granny Pop crochet along garments that I am doing, I need some wooden buttons. So these are a coffee color wooden button that I got. I believe there's 20 of them, 35mm buttons. I think that's like about a 1 3/8 inch button. But I got those to be able to use on those that I am making. And I also received this month's towel in the tea towel embroidery of the month from Granny's Legacy that I am in. And this one is Thankful and Blessed this time, with the Thanksgiving theme. So maybe I will actually get that one stitched up in time for Thanksgiving. One of the other things that I got for a project that I am going to be doing is I got some wool felt squares. I got a couple different ones. These were a bunch of fall colors. I'll just show the side there. I'm not going to open it up, give you an idea of what some of the colors are in there, but they are fall colors. I believe there is 21. Yes, there's 21 in there, and they are 6 by 12 inch wool felt squares, rectangles. And then I also got this one, which is, they refer to it as Easter colors. It's pastels. But these are 15, and they are 9 by 12 inch rectangles. Then one of the larger things that I got, except we did forget a couple here, I did get an Elizabeth Hartman pattern, and it is called Lookout. And it is these cute trees with the deer, the bear, and the little rabbit peeking out there from some of the trees. I thought it was really cute. Going to give that a try. And then this is called Winter's Solstice. It is, I'm going to have to hold that up close so you can see that it's actually like pine trees down here, and then it is like a mountains in the back and an area on top of there. And I got that I am going to be making for a special someone. And then I did get some fabrics. Haven't been buying a lot of fabric, but I ended up ordering some things from Lorelei on sale. I got this cute, they're different dogs on the squares. Of course, that one's upside down in the way that it's folded, but all kinds of different dogs in the bright colors. To go with them, I got this cute red check. And then there is this black dot. And there is this yellow dot. And there is this really bright pink with the flowers. I believe these are all 1-yard cuts that I got. The colorful dog bones. And of course we had to have the paw prints. This is a lighter yellow with some different kinds of dots on that. And then this was a turquoise colored blue check. But I got those, so I think I'm going to be making a tote or wallet or two for myself out of those. And we will see what I may come up with. But that is everything that I accomplished and that I received in the past couple weeks in the Stitching Cottage. So again, I want to thank you all for joining me and coming into my Stitching Cottage each and every week to see what it is that I accomplish throughout the week. And as always, I hope that I inspire you in some way to get some of your projects completed and working on along the way, and having a great time in your sewing room also. So thanks everyone. Have a great week. I will see you next week. In the meantime, remember, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye.